What if I told you that some of the most trusted wellness habits did not come from capsules or expensive supplements, but from simple drinks people made in their own kitchens? Long before wellness products filled store shelves, people turned to roots, herbs, and everyday ingredients because they were traditionally used to support digestion, balance, and overall wellness. Drinks like ginger tea and warm lemon water have been used for generations. And now research suggests some of their natural compounds may help explain why they stayed so popular. In this video, we are looking at 7 simple drinks from different cultures that are easy to make, easy to use, and may support your health in small but meaningful ways over time. Let's start with one of the oldest and simplest options first. One is turmeric golden milk. Turmeric golden milk, sometimes called the evening balance drink, is one of those simple blends that feels almost too basic to matter, yet it has been used for generations for a reason. It's usually made with warm milk, turmeric, and a pinch of black pepper, sometimes with a little cinnamon or honey added in. Nothing complicated, just a quiet, warming drink people would turn to at the end of the day. In Ayurvedic tradition, this wasn't something people reached for only when they felt off. It was part of a rhythm. Families would heat milk in the evening, stir in turmeric, and drink it slowly as the day came to a close. It was seen as a way to help the body settle, recover, and prepare for rest after long hours of work and movement. Now, what's interesting is that modern research is starting to explore why turmeric became so valued. Studies suggest that curcumin, the main active compound in turmeric, may support the body's natural inflammatory response. That doesn't mean it works like a quick fix, but it does help explain why people felt a steady difference over time. Curcumin on its own is a bit stubborn. The body doesn't absorb it easily. That's where black pepper comes in. It contains a compound called piperine, which research indicates may help the body absorb curcumin more effectively. It's a small detail, but it shows how traditional practices often have built-in wisdom, even if people didn't explain it in scientific terms. If you want to try it, keep it simple. Warm a cup of milk or a plant-based option, add about half a teaspoon of turmeric and a small pinch of black pepper. Stir it well and let it sit for a minute before drinking. You can add a little honey if you prefer a softer taste. Start small and see how your body responds. If you're pregnant or taking medication, it's always a good idea to check with your provider before making it a regular habit. So why did something this simple fade out for so many people? Mostly because it takes a few minutes. You have to heat it, mix it, and slow down long enough to drink it. In a world that leans toward instant options, that small effort can feel like too much. Over time, those quiet rituals get replaced by whatever is faster and easier. But when you come back to it, you notice something. It's not just about the ingredients. It's about the pause, the warmth, and the consistency. Think of it like a quiet evening fire. It doesn't demand attention, it doesn't burn fast, but it gives off a steady kind of support while everything else begins to slow down. Second is ginger tea, often called the warming root infusion, is one of the simplest drinks you can make, yet it carries a long history of everyday use. It's nothing more than fresh ginger sliced or crushed and steeped in hot water. No complicated steps, no special tools. Just a root, some heat, and a few quiet minutes. Across Asia and the Middle East, ginger tea wasn't something reserved for special occasions. It was part of daily life. After meals, especially heavier ones, people would sip ginger tea to feel more comfortable and settled. It was also used during travel, long work days, or whenever the body felt a little off balance. It wasn't about fixing something overnight. It was about gentle support, used consistently. Now, modern research is starting to give us a clearer picture of why ginger became so widely trusted. Studies suggest that ginger contains active compounds like gingerol, which may support digestion and help with occasional nausea. It seems to work by encouraging the natural movement of the digestive system, helping things flow the way they're supposed to. If we break that down in simple terms, gingerol and related compounds may help the stomach do its job more smoothly. Instead of things sitting heavy or slow, the body is gently encouraged to keep things moving. That's likely why so many people, across different cultures, turn to ginger after meals or during times of discomfort. Making it is as straightforward as it gets. Take a small piece of fresh ginger, slice it thin or crush it slightly, and add it to a cup of hot water. Let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. The longer it sits, the stronger it becomes. If you're new to it, start mild. Ginger has a natural heat to it, and for some people, too much at once can feel a bit intense. You can always add a touch of honey or lemon to soften the flavor if needed. It's also worth noting that more isn't always better. Strong, concentrated ginger may not suit everyone, especially if you have a sensitive stomach. And as always, if you're pregnant or taking medication, it's a good idea to check with your provider before making it a regular part of your routine. So why did something this simple get pushed aside? Mostly because it doesn't come ready-made. It asks you to slice, steep, and wait a few minutes. Meanwhile, modern options offer instant flavor, often loaded with sugar or artificial ingredients, with no effort at all. Over time, convenience starts to win. But when you come back to ginger tea, you realize how little it actually asks of you and how much it quietly gives in return. It's not dramatic. It doesn't try to impress you. Think of it like a gentle push, the kind that helps everything move in the right direction without force or pressure. Third is garlic broth, often known as the kitchen shield, is about as simple as it gets. You take a few cloves of garlic, simmer them in water or a light stock, and let the heat do the work. No fancy ingredients, no complicated steps. Just a strong, familiar smell filling the room and a warm cup in your hands. In many European and Middle Eastern homes, this wasn't unusual or reserved for special moments. It showed up during colder seasons, long days, or times when people felt run down. Grandparents would keep it simple, sometimes adding a pinch of salt or a bit of onion. But the focus was always the garlic. It was seen as something steady you could return to when your body needed a little extra support. Today, research is helping us understand why garlic earned that kind of trust. Studies suggest that garlic contains a compound called allicin, which forms when garlic is crushed or chopped. Allicin is known for its natural properties that may support immune function and overall wellness. Again, not a quick fix, but something that works gradually alongside your body's own systems. If we put that into everyday language, allicin is part of what gives garlic its strong smell and bite. But beyond that, it's believed to interact with the body in ways that may help maintain balance, especially during times when you're exposed to more stress or seasonal changes. Making garlic broth is straightforward. Take 3 to 5 cloves of garlic, crush them lightly, and let them sit for a minute to activate those compounds. Then add them to a cup or two of water or broth, bring it to a gentle simmer, and let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. Cooking softens the intensity, making it easier to drink while still keeping its character. If you want, you can add a pinch of salt or a splash of olive oil for a smoother taste. Keep in mind, garlic is strong. For some people, especially when raw, it can feel a bit harsh on the stomach. Cooking helps reduce that sharpness, but it's still best to start simple and see how your body responds. And if you're on medication or have specific sensitivities, it's always wise to check with your provider before using it regularly. So why did garlic broth fall out of favor? In part, it's the smell. It lingers, it's noticeable, and in a modern setting, it can feel inconvenient. Add to that the rise of ready-made soups and quick fixes, and something this simple gets pushed aside. It doesn't fit neatly into fast-paced routines. But when you return to it, you notice its strength isn't in being subtle or trendy. It's in being dependable. It's been there for generations, doing the same quiet job without needing attention. Think of it like an old shield. It may not look impressive, but it's sturdy, reliable, and quietly protective when you need it most. Fourth is apple cider vinegar tonic, often called the daily reset drink, is one of those remedies that feels almost too simple to take seriously. It's just a small amount of apple cider vinegar mixed into water, sometimes with a bit of honey to soften the edge. That's it. No complicated recipe, just a sharp, clean taste that wakes you up right away. In traditional folk practices, especially across parts of Europe and early American homesteads, this was something people used regularly, not occasionally. It was often taken in the morning or before meals as a way to support digestion and maintain a sense of balance. It wasn't framed as anything dramatic. It was just part of a daily rhythm, like stepping outside for fresh air or starting the day with a simple routine. Now, modern research is beginning to explore why vinegar like this may have been valued for so long. Studies suggest that acetic acid, the main compound in vinegar, may support blood sugar balance and help the body process food more efficiently when used in moderate amounts. It also appears to play a role in how the stomach handles digestion, especially when taken before or with meals. In plain terms, acetic acid may help slow down how quickly certain foods are broken down, which can lead to a steadier, more balanced response in the body. It's not about doing anything extreme. It's more about smoothing out the process so things don't spike or drop too quickly. If you want to try it, the key is to keep it diluted. A simple starting point is 1 to 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in a full glass of water. You can add a little honey if the taste feels too sharp at first. Never take it straight. Undiluted vinegar can be harsh on your teeth and throat, and over time that can cause unnecessary irritation. Drink it slowly and see how your body responds. Also, if you have a sensitive stomach or if you're taking medication, it's a good idea to check with your provider before making this a daily habit. Small amounts tend to work best. More is not better here. So why did this tonic fall out of favor? The answer is simple: taste. It's sharp, it's strong, and it doesn't compete well with sweet, flavored drinks that are easy to grab and pleasant right away. Over time, convenience and comfort push this kind of practice into the background. But when you come back to it, you realize that sharpness is part of its character. It gets your attention. It wakes things up. Think of it like a reset button. It may feel intense at first, but it helps clear the system and bring things back into a steadier rhythm. Before we move on, take a second and think about this. Out of the drinks we've covered so far, which one actually feels doable for you? Not the most impressive one, not the one that sounds the most powerful, but the one you could realistically make part of your day without overthinking it. That's really where the value is. Simple things you'll actually stick with. If you're finding this kind of approach helpful, go ahead and like the video. It lets me know you want more of these grounded, practical ideas that don't rely on hype or complicated routines. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. We focus on traditional knowledge, simple habits, and what research is starting to say about them, all in a way that fits into real life. Now let's get into the next few, because some of these might surprise you. Fifth one is fenugreek water, often called the overnight seed tonic, is one of those practices that feels almost too quiet to notice, yet it's been used for generations. It starts with small golden seeds soaked in water overnight, then taken first thing in the morning. No heat, no rush, just time doing the work while you sleep. In Ayurvedic and Middle Eastern traditions, fenugreek wasn't something people used occasionally. It was part of a steady routine, especially when it came to digestion and maintaining balance in the body. People would soak the seeds before bed, leave them on the counter, and in the morning, drink the water and sometimes chew the softened seeds. It was simple, consistent, and built into daily life. Now, modern research is beginning to look more closely at why fenugreek earned that kind of place. Studies suggest that fenugreek contains soluble fiber and natural compounds that may support blood sugar balance and help regulate how the body processes food. It's not dramatic, but it's steady, which is often where the real value shows up. If we break that down, the soluble fiber in fenugreek can form a kind of gel-like texture when soaked that may help slow down how quickly sugars are absorbed in the body, creating a more gradual, balanced response. It's a small shift, but over time, those small shifts can matter. Preparing it is straightforward, but it does ask for one thing most modern routines don't favor, and that's planning ahead. Take about a teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, add them to a glass of water, and let them soak overnight. By morning, the water will take on a slightly golden color, and the seeds will be softer. Drink the water first, and if you're comfortable, chew the seeds as well. The taste is slightly bitter, and that can catch people off guard at first, so it's best to start with a small amount and see how it feels for you. You can always adjust over time. And as always, if you're pregnant, managing a condition, or taking medication, it's a good idea to check with your provider before making it part of your routine. So why did something this simple fade into the background? Mostly because it doesn't fit into fast-paced habits. It requires you to think one step ahead, to prepare something the night before for a benefit you won't feel until the next day. In a world built around instant results, that kind of patience often gets overlooked. But when you return to it, you start to see its quiet rhythm. You prepare it at night, let it sit undisturbed, and in the morning, it's ready. Think of it like planting seeds each night and waking up to small, steady benefits that build over time without demanding your attention. Sixth is, chamomile tea, often called the evening calm infusion, is one of the gentlest drinks you can bring into your routine. It's made from small dry chamomile flowers, steeped in hot water until the flavor turns soft, slightly sweet, and easy to sip. There's nothing intense about it. It's quiet, almost subtle, but that's part of what makes it stand out. In many European traditions, chamomile tea was part of the evening rhythm. It showed up at the end of long days, after meals were finished and the house began to settle. People would drink it slowly, not as a quick solution, but as a signal to the body that it was time to wind down. It became tied to rest, to quiet conversation, and to letting go of the day. Now, modern research is beginning to explain why chamomile has been associated with relaxation for so long. Studies suggest that chamomile contains a compound called apigenin, which may interact with certain receptors in the brain that help promote a sense of calm. It's not something that forces sleep, but it may support the body's natural ability to relax and prepare for rest. In simple terms, apigenin seems to work by gently signaling to the nervous system that it's okay to slow down. Instead of pushing the body in a strong direction, it creates the conditions where relaxation can happen more naturally. That's likely why people have used it as part of a routine rather than a one-time fix. Making chamomile tea is about as easy as it gets. Add a teaspoon of dry chamomile flowers or a tea bag to a cup of hot water. Let it steep for about 5 minutes, and then sip it slowly. The key isn't just drinking it, but giving yourself a few minutes of quiet while you do. That combination is where much of the value comes from. Chamomile is generally considered gentle, but it's still worth paying attention to how your body responds. If you have allergies to plants in the same family, like ragweed, you may want to be cautious. And if you're pregnant or taking medication, it's always a good idea to check with your provider before using it regularly. So why did something this calming get pushed aside? In many ways, it's been replaced by stimulation. Screens, late-night scrolling, artificial light, and fast-paced routines have taken over the space where quiet habits used to live. Instead of easing into rest, we often stay switched on until the very last moment. But when you come back to chamomile tea, you notice something different. It doesn't demand anything from you. It simply invites you to slow down. Think of it like dimming the lights in your mind, gradually, gently, until everything feels a little softer and more ready for rest. And the last one is, lemon honey water, often called the morning reset drink, is one of the simplest ways to start the day. It's just warm water with fresh lemon juice and a bit of honey stirred in. No complexity, no special timing, just a clean, light drink that gently wakes up your system. Across many cultures, this wasn't a trend or a health hack. It was a daily ritual. People would begin their mornings with it before anything else, especially before heavier foods or strong drinks. It was seen as a way to ease into the day, giving the body something light and refreshing after a long night of rest. Now, when we look at it through a modern lens, there are a few reasons this simple drink has held its place for so long. Lemon provides vitamin C and other natural compounds that research suggests may support general wellness and immune function. Honey, on the other hand, contains natural substances that studies indicate may have soothing properties and support overall balance. In plain terms, lemon adds brightness and a slight acidity that can help wake up your senses, while honey softens that sharpness and adds a gentle layer of comfort. Together, they create something that feels both refreshing and steady at the same time, making it as easy as it sounds. Take a glass of warm water, not boiling, just comfortably warm, squeeze in half a fresh lemon, and stir in a teaspoon of honey. The temperature matters more than most people think. Very hot water can reduce some of honey's natural qualities, so it's better to keep it warm rather than steaming. If you're new to it, start with less lemon and honey, then adjust based on your taste. Some people prefer it more tart, others a little sweeter. And as always, if you have sensitivities, or if you're managing a condition or taking medication, it's a good idea to check with your provider before making it a daily habit. So why did something this simple get replaced? Mostly because mornings have changed. Instead of slow starts, many of us reach for strong coffee, sugary drinks, or something quick that delivers an immediate jolt. Over time, those choices crowd out quieter options like this. But when you come back to lemon honey water, you notice a different kind of start to your day. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't overwhelm your system. It simply opens things up, gently and naturally. Think of it like opening a window in the morning, letting in fresh air and light, simple, clean, and quietly energizing. None of these drinks are about instant transformation. They are built around consistency, simplicity, and small habits that add up over time. Instead of trying all 7 at once, choose 1 or 2 that fit naturally into your life. Steady often works better than fast. Sometimes it is not about adding more, but returning to something simpler. If you found this helpful, like the video, subscribe for more practical ideas, and share it with someone who appreciates natural, grounded ways of living. I'll see you in the next one. Before you start adding any of these into your routine, just keep this in mind. These drinks have been traditionally used to support general wellness, but they're not guaranteed solutions. Everyone's body is different, and the way you respond may not be the same as someone else. Some of the ingredients we talked about can interact with medications or may not be the best fit for certain individuals, especially if you have existing conditions or sensitivities. That doesn't mean you need to avoid them completely, but it does mean it's worth being thoughtful about how you use them. If you're pregnant, taking medication, or managing a health condition, it's always a good idea to check in with a qualified healthcare provider before making any new habit a regular part of your routine. The goal here is simple. Use these ideas as gentle options, not strict rules. Pay attention to how your body responds, start small, and adjust as needed.